All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily episode of Let's Talk Rockets, episode number 83 here. The Houston Rockets are sitting at a very pretty 5-3. It is game day against the OKC Thunder, who just got their first loss of the season a couple of nights ago to the OKC Thunder. Hit that like button, hit that sub button as always. Keep in mind, guys, these are available on streaming sites. The link is down in the description of these live streams. They're posted around an hour, 30 minutes more so once these are officially posted. We just got back from the gym, and this is when I have the most energy in the day. I owe you guys a huge apology, man. We need to do these way more. I'm trying to figure out YouTube. Clips are annoying. We have a protein shake here and a Celsius as always. I wish you guys could see this setup. It's terrible, and it is really hard to figure these day streams out. But anyways, the Houston Rockets play basketball tonight. I wanted to see, you guys know, sorry, I just have to make sure this isn't like a pay to click because I like doing live articles and stuff on these. I like reacting to certain things. The Houston Rockets didn't play basketball yesterday, so let me do a quick review. I got Tari Eason up on here because a huge tweet went viral on Rockets Sphere. Ooh, my phone's gonna die. Huge tweet went viral on Rockets Twitter where they were talking about how Tari Eason is just like clearly better than Jabari Smith Jr. In all facets. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Jabari because he's in a big year, man. Year 3. We haven't seen anything too crazy. He's averaging 12.5 points, 7.5 rebounds. But keep in mind, man, he's only 21 years old. Oh, it's lukewarm. He's had a couple of good games. In our the second game against the Spurs, Jabari had 17 points and 8 rebounds. Follows it up against Dallas the next game on Halloween. 14.6 rebounds, and then in that Golden State game, 21 points and 7 boards. And his defense, I think, has been solid. His energy level's been solid. I think putting Tari in the starting lineup over Jabari in the starting lineup, I don't think it would extract the same amount of value that Tari Eason provides this team off of the bench. Like, you need Energizer bunnies, and I think Dylan is the Energizer bunny in the starting 5, and I think Tari's the dude in the back 5. Tari, we always say this on the show. Tari's so hard to evaluate because he played 20 basketball games for us last year, and he had a phenomenal under the radar rookie season. But we were a terrible basketball team in his rookie year. So Tari's here in year 3, and he only played 20 games last year, and in his rookie season, the dude looked phenomenal. So. Sorry, guys, this is a little warm, so I'm gonna pound it. I love that vanilla. Oof, oof. So I'm curious where people stand on that. Let's pull up Jabari. Let's do a Jabari Smith Jr. deep dive here. Because Jabari is really tough because of where he was drafted. Much like all of these Houston Rocket guys, but he's very similar to Reed Shepherd. Amon drafted 4th overall as well. All right. Let's see here. Because one of the big reasons I think that Tari Eason over Jabari tweet went viral is because I think somebody said, like, oh, you're going to have to pay this dude. Let's pull this up on the screen. We got Jabari Smith's stats on the screen. Oh, you're going to have to pay this dude $30 million a year annually based on, maybe like Jaden McDaniels' contract. All right, we're done with that. That's good stuff. So, throwing this in. I'm in no rush to get Tari Eason into the starting lineup. I think you see Tari Eason. Is it? Okay. At this complex, there's trash or cleanup day, and it's always so freaking loud. It always just picks up on my mic. Otherwise, who cares? But on the screen, as you can see here, we got Jabari Smith Jr. Ooh, and in the background, we got Jabari Smith Jr. going here. 43.9% from the field, 30% from downtown. We ran through those stats: 0.4 steals, 0.4 blocks, less than a turnover a game. One thing with Jabari that we all kind of wanted to see coming out of college at Auburn, where he was such a stud at this, is shooting the ball from downtown. So Jabari Smith Jr.'s rookie season, he takes 5 threes a game. Wow, he's taken 5 threes a game in all 3 years. Took 5 threes a game in his rookie year. Only made 30.7% of his clips, but he also shot 40.8% from the field. So just an efficient rookie season for a rookie. Sophomore campaign, Jabari 45.4% from the field, 36.3% from downtown. So still taking 5 threes a game, but he was making them at a 36.3 clip, as opposed to what he's doing this year and his rookie season, shooting around the 30% mark. So that's, to me, where you see Jabari. Jabari, to me, can be a 3-3, 2 threes. Jabari should be making 2 threes a game, at least as far as I see it. So if he was, I mean, I would assume that total point per game is going to be around 15. And I think most people would be a lot more pleased with Jabari. If he was averaging a block and a half per game, that would be a different story. I always like to compare him to Aaron Gordon and his role on the Denver Nuggets. So let's take a look at Aaron Gordon's stats. Because until Aaron Gordon got to, so basically, here's the thing: the Rockets will trade somebody out of their core 7 eventually, right? Maybe it's going to be Cam Whitmore. Maybe it's going to be Freddie Double V. Maybe it's probably not going to be Jalen Green. Probably not going to be Alperen Sengun. Maybe it's Tari Eason. Maybe it's Jabari. Maybe it's Amen. Maybe it's Reed. Somebody's going to get traded eventually, whether it's this season, the offseason, next year, or even just somebody's not going to come back. But one thing you should keep in mind as well with a trade is, because I keep seeing Cam Whitmore's name in trade ideas, because it seems like when Jalen signed his extension, the Cam Whitmore arc to starting minutes is pretty much over. So I wouldn't be surprised, unfortunately, if Cam Whitmore ultimately was somebody Houston decided to not necessarily ship out, but not bring back at some point sooner rather than later. But just because I don't want Giannis, just because I don't want Jimmy Butler, and you want Devin Booker, or you want Steph Curry, or you want LeBron James, or whatever it is, it's not like the Rockets, to me, are going to do one big, fat, crazy trade where we're getting a superstar. There's probably going to be, one trade where you're more so trying to get money off of the books to pay some of these guys, or you're getting money off of the books to bring in some of these guys. You're going to see calculated moves. Not every trade you're going to see with a Houston Rocket player is going to be for this, crazy superstar. All right, Aaron Gordon, I forgot he spent, dude, Jesus, man, this guy's, I don't know how he's only 29 years old. He's been in the league for 10 seasons. I guess, obviously, that makes sense. But he spent 7 years in Orlando. And by the way, just to get this out of the way, I don't want the Rockets to make any big-time trade at any point this season. That is overstating it, because I'm overreacting because we're only 8 games into this season. But I'm more of a hometown breeder in a non-weird way. So Aaron Gordon, in his tenure in, I know you guys can't see this, but Aaron Gordon in Orlando was pretty much averaging around 14 points per game and around 7-ish rebounds. He's never been a block per game guy, but he's the starting power forward to the championship Nuggets from 2 seasons back. It's crazy because you look at Aaron Gordon's statistics and it's good, solid. In their championship year, Aaron Gordon was 16.3 from points per game, 6.6 rebounds, 3 assists. He's a good passer, 56.4 from the field, 34.7% from downtown. But obviously, he was huge to them just winning that championship in general. So I think when I'm using Jabari as an example, in year 2.05, hearing Jabari Smith Jr. trade talks is, I think, shooting maybe a little bit early. But like we see, man, when the Rockets, when Rafael Stone has players who he views as, I don't want to use the word redundant, but, we saw, like, you go back to our draft class with so many of these kids, I gotta stop calling them kids. They're just younger than me. It's crazy. I don't view myself as old by any means. 25. Josh Christopher is not on this team. KJ Martin Jr. is not on this team. Usman Garuba is not on this team. There are a lot of draft picks that are not on this team that, when Josh Christopher departed, Ty Washington Jr., another first round draft pick, they sent him gone. Usman, they sent all these dudes gone. But these are first round draft picks who had some potential here. And, once Raphael Stone figured out, all right, it's not going to be on this team, we're going to unload him. I'm not saying that's Jabari or, Cam or any of these Houston Rocket players. I'm just saying, I guess with Raphael Stone, you never really know. And Rob's got a lot of pressure on him this season because obviously we have yet to make the playoffs as him being, he inherited at the time a good team with James Harden, but then obviously James Harden requested a trade like 1 month later. So he kind of inherited this really wacky roster, and we ran Steven Silas for like at least a year too long. We have this on the screen here. We got a article from Jeff Balk. Two stats that bode well for the Rockets and one that doesn't. I want to find these here. I think this is probably the first one. All right. At 4-3, so this is a little outdated. Net rating 4.7, NBA rank 7. I think that's defense. All right. The Rockets' net rating is good for 7th in the NBA, 9th in offensive rating, 10th in defense. It's the kind of balance Coach Ime Udoka began preaching last year. Their low turnovers and high offensive rebounding rates offset some of their strong shooting struggles. So, even in that game, that's something I noticed right away watching that Spurs game. I didn't watch the final 3 minutes. Sue me. Houston's defense to me in what was that game from 2 nights ago? In that Knicks game, Houston's defense won them that game in the second half big time. Their defense was phenomenal, and Tari made some big buckets. Jalen made some huge threes at the end of the game. Freddie got them starting in the beginning of the game. Ahmed had some nice closing minutes. Everyone just closed really well, but we didn't score. I mean, we had 107, 109. I already scrolled past it. We scored 30 points or minimum. We scored over 30 in all 4 quarters against the San Antonio Spurs. Shot 56.2% from the field. Only got to the free throw line 15 times. Made 9 of them, 60%. Rocket free throw woes are still a thing ever since I started making content on them 4 years ago. We only made 10 threes, took 27 of them. The 37% three-point percentage isn't bad, but 10 to 27, those are stat lines. Those are 3-point percent stat lines. That isn't even that bad. Those are games we saw last season where the Rockets just don't end up winning it, in my opinion, because of the defense. So the defense this season, in that Knicks game, it's why they won it, in my opinion. Obviously, Jalen Green, a lot of big-time buckets at the end of the game, Dylan Brooks, you name it. But that defense, you play defense, you can win a lot of basketball games and go a very long way. So don't underestimate some of these bench players in that Spurs game, for example. Obviously, Ahmed Thompson and Tari Eason are unbelievably vital. And now we're kind of tasting how shitty it was to miss Tari Eason for 60 games last year. And even Ahmed Thompson at stretches, specifically at the beginning of his rookie season. And it took him some time to, get acclimated. But Jacques Landale, 11 points. I sent a tweet out on it. Go follow Let's Talk Rockets on Twitter. That's the handle. 11.6 rebounds. You're going up against Victor Wembanyama. He had 4 offensive rebounds in that game. Finished as a plus 15 and only 18 minutes off the bench. People hated Jacques Landale this time last season because his Rockets career got off dicey. But bench is huge in the regular season. And I didn't really appreciate that. I think when the Rockets were such a shitty basketball team of Steven Silas, our bench was, you try and trick your mind and, all right, maybe Justin Patton's the next cat, maybe DJ Augustine can be, our Chris Paul. So this bench has been huge. Let's get out of this article, but let me go through it. Oh, here we go. This is beautiful, man. They play such a clean brand of basketball. So on this, the Rockets turnover percentage, 12%. NBA rank 3. Now keep in mind, this is pre-Spurs game, sorry. Prior to Udoka's arrival, when the Rockets were in full-on developmental mode, this team was a turnover machine. In the 3 seasons prior to last year, the Rockets ranked 23rd, 30th, and 30th in this same stat. Last season, they jumped all the way to 7th, and this year, 3rd. It's a big part of why their offensive rating is so high, and a tribute to both the stability of the team and Freddie Double V's steady hand on the floor. I ranted about this in our Rockets stream 2 days ago because Fred got off to a bad shooting start. Dylan had a bad shooting start. Even Jabari has a bad shooting start. Fred brings you so much stability at the point guard position that he's not leaving anytime soon just because of Amen Thompson and Reed Shepard being drafted in recent years. Fred's not going anywhere anytime soon because he keeps it so clean. I mean, he had a phenomenal Spurs game. I think he missed one shot, 10 of 11 from the field, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, and he played 25 minutes. Like, Fred was huge in the last couple of victories, and that's why he's a Houston Rocket. All right. The bad news, effective field goal percentage, 48.6%, NBA ranked 29th. With this fucking Nats, man. This whole state of Florida's got unbelievable amount of Nats. So I don't want to read into this too much, but oh God, their best shooter at the moment is Tari Eason. He's been great early on, but the Rockets cannot rely on him to be their best marksman, especially when he takes so few shots, particularly from 3. Jalen Green has begun the season hot from the 3-point line at over 37%, but he's shooting only 39% total from the floor. Yikes. If the Rockets had an Achilles heel, shooting would be it. And that's why even though the Rockets drafted Reed Shepard, in the top 5 this year, we didn't bring in any other shooters, and that's a big concern. So even just to go back on that Jabari thing, Jabari taking 1-3, and I get it. That Spurs game was a little wonky because Jalen played more into the 4th to keep putting buckets in the bucket, so we could maintain our lead. We won by 27, but like that game, we came back 31, I think it was, against the Golden State Warriors, and then the Spurs came back in, what was it, the first or second game? First game for the Rockets. We played them 3 times now, which is crazy. I love the rivalry. It's not even a rivalry. You have to be good. Hey, San Antonio, you got to be good for it to be a rivalry. Jabari taking 1-3. My point is, Fred played 25 minutes. Şengün, Brooks, and Jabari played 24 minutes. So I get it. If this was a normal basketball game, Jabari's playing 30 to 34. Maybe he takes another 3. But, I mean, I got a 7-foot dude just about who can shoot threes. And when I'm playing with Alperen Şengün and even Jalen Green, you're going to be open a couple of times. I got Freddie, the distributor. Like, Jabari's scoring's been a disappointment, but I don't want to overreact to it. But my point is, Jabari took 1-3. Tari took 2 in pretty much the same amount of minutes. So if Tari Eason was jacking up 8 threes a night, making 3 of them, he probably would have been the Rocket starter heading into the season, but that is not the case. All right, let's hit Twitter, man. We got a bunch of cats in here watching. You should know we post these on streaming sites. The link's down below. But throwing some comments in here, man. We're 18 minutes in. I don't have a single live comment. Is everybody okay? All right. Let's get into the unfortunate conversation here. We got a great tweet from my favorite Twitter guy on Rockets Nation, Cam Whitmore. Brado tweeted, Cam Whitmore so far this season, 38.6% from the field, 5.6% from downtown, 66.7% from the free throw line, 43.6% true shooting. Obviously a slow start for him, but I'm hoping the G League will allow him to play himself back into a rhythm. So, yeah. I like, let me see if I can pull up Cam's playing log here, because he hasn't even been on the court really. He started a little bit. So in our opener against Charlotte, Cam played 8 minutes. In the second game against San Antonio, he played 21 minutes. It was the highest mark for the whole season. 12 against San Antonio in our third game, 8 against Dallas, 5 against Golden State, 0 against the Knicks. Was he eligible to play in that game? Was it a DMP? And then 7 against San Antonio. But he's shooting horribly. He's averaging 6 points in 6 freaking minutes, but I think it's a little higher than 6 minutes. A concern for Cam Whitmore doesn't exist. Minutes being eligible and being disgruntled does worry me a little bit, not because of Cam Whitmore's character, and I have character flaw or concerns, but more so, I mean, Reed was huge. I think going to the G League just to get back into a rhythm, back to get into your flow, I think is huge for him. I can't see a world where just because Cam Whitmore isn't going to be a Rocket starter anytime soon, most likely, as shitty as that says out loud, they need his shooting and they need his scoring. So Cam's going to go down to the G League. I wouldn't even be surprised if he's back today because we didn't play, over election day. But let me see if I have an update on Cam because he was assigned only 17 hours ago. All right, we'll switch to this article here on Cam Whitmore specifically. A lot of Houston writers do such a phenomenal job. Like, they really do. All right, James Piercy, I think I follow him on Twitter. What Cam Whitmore's G League demotion means for the Rockets on Space City Scoop. Great name. Great name. All right, let's do a quick browse. All right, how will they find time for all these guys? The Rockets are widely held to have a core 7. Here's the issue. There's no such thing as a core 7. There are 5 starters and a 6th man. For as much discussion as there's been about Houston's depth, if the Rockets make a move soon, it seems like Cam Whitmore could be a prime candidate. In a sense, the Rockets have already moved him to the G League, Rio Grande. All right, oof. His 1 of 18 shooting from three-point range feels like a logical starting point. Whitmore's averaged 1.35 assists per 75 possessions as a rookie during Summer League. Seemed like he'd figured something out regarding passing. Summer League can be deceiving. Whitmore averages 1.5 assists per math. Whitmore needs to expand his game, start doing a little bit more of the little stuff, I would assume. Kind of on a career arc of Moses Moody, which is that's reminding me of Moses Moody here thus far. But I think he'll figure it out very easily because he's a born scorer. All right, sorry you guys can't see this. I'm just scrolling through Rockets Twitter here. All right, we'll end it here, man. 22 minutes. We got OKC at 8 p.m. Man, it's hard to watch these weekend games sometimes. We don't play till Sunday. All right, I'll probably do a stream tomorrow afternoon. Want to go to a dinner tonight. Thank you guys for watching or listening. As always, it's available on streaming sites. We have 12 5-star ratings on Spotify, so go at least give it a follow. You guys listen to it so much. I appreciate you so much. We are a couple of episodes or a really good episode away from hitting 1,000 total plays. We're back in business. The Rockets are 5-3. The vibes are up. We're doing this every other day at minimum. Thank you guys so much for all your support, live and off live. That is it for me. Have a great weekend. We'll probably see you tomorrow. Let's go Rockets. Let's get this big win tonight. We'll see you later.